You're listening to the Laughing Couple podcast with your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy. Join them weekly as they discuss topics such as relationships, kids, sex, parenting, all unfiltered and all with a healthy dose of laughter. Please welcome your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy.
Oh my gosh. Cat and Nat. Nat and Cat.
Well, not to be mistaken with Nat and Cat.
It just sounds weird.
I had to correct someone today.
Really?
Here you're interviewing Nat and Cat. I said that is incorrect. We are interviewing Cat and Nat.
Ladies.
It goes in alphabetical order. C comes before N. It's not like either of us are more important than the other one. That's just how naturally it should go.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Brittany and Ryan, I feel, is also the same. He gets very mad.
Exactly.
But R&B sounds better. Let me just say.
If you're a 90s song, absolutely.
BNR, R&B.
We have we know a club that's the BNR, and it just that actually rolls off easy. But I mean, whatever works for you.
I'll pretend. We're going to cut that part out.
Whatever works for Brittany. We'll be honest.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I can't even tell you how many people are like, I will be in your window watching because they like stalk you. And so we've had to close the blinds because some people would actually do that.
So that's not true. We don't have blinds in this room. But I will say this, and Brittany doesn't know this. You guys were a bit of an inspiration for our podcast.
I know this. What are you talking about?
You know this, but you don't know this.
I didn't know you were going to say
We
this.
were sitting in Florida, and Brittany had just started her Bostafy account, and she had around 4,000 people. And for some reason, I stumbled on your mom truths, and I said, "Man, these girls are fantastic. They're telling all these funny things. They're making really hard things funny." I said, "There's no place for a guy to have this conversation. How come guys aren't having this conversation?" Which led us down the path of let's get a male conversation going, which is the podcast. And believe it or not,
You're on our bucket list.
you were on our bucket list from day one.
I know.
Whoa!
We love being a bucket list, and we love
your podcast is so successful. Not to mention the Instagram following that you have for your podcast. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So
but
nice. This isn't about us, but keep going.
our fellow Canadians were the inspo for it.
Just kidding. Okay, we want to do this thing
so fun.
before we get into some great questions. We'd like to ask you guys this question we ask all our guests. It's called I Love You and You're Annoying. So what is one thing who wants to go first? Cat or Nat?
I'll go first.
All right. What is one thing that Cat does, Nat, that you are like, I really hate when you do that? And it could be something that's ongoing, or maybe she just did it yesterday and you realize that it's annoying.
I love you.
AF.
You're my best friend. And this is annoying.
I'm going to really, really, really disappoint you here.
Oh, it's gonna be
I'm really sorry. And I'm not just trying to be nice. I'm not a sweet person.
No.
There is nothing.
She's hot.
There's nothing about her that irks me or bothers me at all.
That's actually so
She needs me too much. No, she can't afford to lose me.
Oh, that's actually so
She'd
nice.
be fucked if we did. You know what I mean? No, I'm joking. She couldn't drive on the highway.
I'm not trying to be sweet. I feel like if there was something, thank God there's not.
We wouldn't be together.
I want to be with her 24/7. We happen to have husbands and children. We have to go home to them at night and yada, yada. But I feel like if there's something that really bothered me about her, I feel like I would just focus on it. And then I would think about it all the time. And then that would part of the way that I feel about her. And
we can't ever, I don't know how naughty we can get here, but we can't do
fully naughty
drugs
We
together.
can get naughty.
We can do no drugs together because she's afraid that she'll see something she doesn't like. And because that's happened before.
I've literally done drugs with ex-boyfriends and been with them for a year.
You don't want to see her in that
drugs,
light.
Yeah. So we have to be very careful about the drugs that we don't do. Sorry, we don't do hard drugs.
Right. No, obviously not.
We've smoked on our podcast. We have gone deep into the world of getting very high.
Yes.
And on a tour bus with our strippers and our entire team. And it's outrageous, but we laughed our faces off and went to bed. But it was an actual rolled joint, not we won't even go as far as edibles together. So it's a very controlled, just a rolled one. That's it.
That's it. You know what though? I think if someone were to ask me that about my best friend, like DK, I would be like literally nothing. Like I would say the same thing, and I'm not trying to be nice. It's just.
But I have never heard someone say, I refuse to do drugs because I feel like I'm going to go into an alternate universe and I'm not going to like the version of you that I see, and I will never forgive you. It's like when your wife wakes up in the morning from a bad dream where you cheated on her and makes you wrong for it when you weren't even there.
Well, you are wrong a little. Your alternate universe.
You know, you're exactly right. And like I was going to say before, I have literally like been with people that I was, listen, there's no falling in love over here, but like, I guess I really, really, really liked. And then
It was over.
I saw them and I never called them again. I was like, there is something in you that I did not know was there, but I know now and I don't like it.
It awakens her sixth sense.
I was going to say, do you have that little sixth sense where you can, like, with people in general? Is that like a thing for you?
Usually,
I mean, I think both. I mean, Kat and I have so much common.
She makes way worse decisions, but I was joking. I would say that like we, you know, there's this thing about us that we're fucking weirdos. Okay, we are so weird
in the best way.
For a long time, our grandmothers were friends before we knew each other. Okay, they used to cocktail. They were widowed, and they were like they have a history. They died. We found out that they used to hang out together. Fast forward, we love psychics. We love all the shit. We went to Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop, like guru, and she was like, "You two are basically not soulmates. You're twin flames. You are together for life, and you have been, and you will keep being together for all the lives you continue to be."
Right.
So it's I think that's the relationship most people can't understand is we don't actually, it's like half of you. And I think when you don't have sex with each other, it's really, there's no, we don't have sex together. Like,
Disclaimer.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
No
alert.
drugs and no sex. Sex, drugs.
No.
You guys are just into the rock and roll then, eh?
I think there's really no expectations.
Strippers on a bus.
You know what I mean? We have very basic expectations of each other, and she can't make me mad because she's half of me, you know?
I feel like Kat's just setting this up because her I love you and her annoying is like so bad. So she just wants to make sure that she...
Do you guys remember, this is not going to be, gentlemen, if you're listening to this podcast, I apologize.
To the 4 males who
There's
listen.
like 12. There's like 12 or 13. Do you guys remember the TV show Passions?
Oh yeah.
With like Timmy and Tabitha.
Oh, so
anyways,
cringy. So good.
What you guys are describing is like the relationship between Miguel and Sheridan. Like they had multiple times where they just kept finding each other no matter what time zone it was or timeline it was. That's you guys.
That would be.
Found out that they were on the Titanic together.
Okay.
That's exactly right. I mean, the woman went into saying like, you know, like centuries, maybe that's too long. For centuries, we're like dinosaurs. I don't think we were dinosaurs together, but like as long as humans are around, I don't know how long that is. We were together and we like these feminists and we like fought for like women's rights and that we left our families behind and we
terrible story.
No, I feel like you guys should do like a montage of like each era and how you were in each era. Like you like burning your bras and shit in like the 70s.
One of you is going to be Joan of Arc.
Like
we've done mom truths from 70s, 80s, 90s, but we haven't dressed up in a while now. It's time to get back to dressing up.
I know. But even just like who you were, if it was like who Cat&Nat were in the decades, like that would be
okay. I
amazing.
Like that.
I really like I'm into
That's a cool piece of social content.
I would be
waiting.
You're welcome.
Can you produce it?
Can y'all do that for
we'll just have bread in the back.
We're not very good at planning. We just go. We don't really think too much about what we do.
Okay, so that's actually a question I was going to ask you guys. So as content creators like ourselves, we sometimes find ourselves like one person is like, we got to do this. Like I have all these ideas. And then the other person's like, cool. Like I fucking don't want to do any of that right now. How do you guys balance when like one person is in like the creative zone and the other one's like deuces, I'm not into it. Like, do you just kind of flip back and forth, or do you say, no, okay, if you're not into it, we're good?
Yeah, like it's magic when you guys are both vibrating at the same, and it sounds like you guys probably are almost always vibrating at the same level.
We've never had it. We've always just been, we've never had that. We just kind of always are up for anything.
And if someone like being the most creative and the other one comes with a creative idea, the other one's like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, there's so much content. I mean, we've been making content, guys, for 13 years. Like,
it's amazing.
13 years. We have done like multiple pieces of content a day on a platform, different content. So it's like, I don't even think you have, I think we're lucky we got to make content when content wasn't content. And I think a lot of people are chasing numbers and things and, you know, success. And I mean, what's success really? Honestly, who the fuck knows? But I would say that we don't overthink much. And sometimes, like, what goes viral? I mean, I don't know. Who knows why? Who knows? And so overthinking shit is just, we wouldn't have time to run the rest of our businesses, because I think we have about like 6 businesses right now. Yeah. And content is the least amount of shit that we spend. We actually spend probably 1% of our time on content.
But that's the best, because it doesn't feel like a job. It's just
right.
like when you're together. Yeah. That's a sweet spot.
That's exactly it. I mean, I wake up in the morning and my job is to go to her. And then when I'm with her, we create. And then we're done. We go back and pick up the kids and come to my bar. And that's being together, being friends and talking like friends is how we create.
I think our biggest thing is that we're like, we both work from home, and then we like are together all the time. And then we get down, we're like, maybe we just didn't have the greatest day with one another.
Let's watch Jack Reacher.
We're like, I'm not into it right now. Or even just podcasting. Like sometimes it's been a long day and you need to podcast and you're like, ugh. Like it's hard. It's not always easy to get into that mind frame.
Doesn't sound like they have that issue at all, which is amazing. Let's sign up for that. Guys,
remember, we have 11 people that live with us. Okay. Like 11. So we have a lot of content to pull on. Our kids are hitting teenage years. We have 2 moms. We have huge families. Like, I feel like when you're together constantly, you can't step outside. We get to step outside every day and come back together. And I think we get to, it's different. And we can talk about our families as experiences, but not the actual people. We don't actually talk about, you know, the kids as content, but like as an experience of motherhood. So y'all have it way more rough, because you know, you're probably unpacking a lot of shit on that podcast.
We do. That's why we started.
The only time, if it's like, you know, we're getting really good at like, you know, getting ahead of our podcast, because we just have so much to talk about. We can't stop. But when there's a time where it's like, there's a lot going on, it's like, we got to get that podcast in. Usually she'll drive over to my house in the evening. I will get my wine. And as soon as my wine starts flowing, we start talking.
Yes.
The words come out.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. It really is. Like you might not start with something and then you just end up where you didn't think you were going to go. Like we do that all the time. Yeah. I like when that happens.
So talking about 13 years of creating content, you guys were, I don't want to, you know, inflate your tires or anything, but and we talk about this on a regular basis, there's a huge movement of mom empowerment, women being empowered to talk about things not working the way that it's supposed to. Like there was a time in a day where media, not social media, but media depicted a woman who was prim and proper and had her shit together and had her house together and had everything in line and everything was perfect. That's not happening anymore.
Yo, we lived that.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is you guys are extremely responsible for a lot of that movement. How cool is that?
You know, it's really, thank you. And
I never heard.
That's
true. Back pocket.
I think it's a definite collective, because we were the moms who would go to the TV segments whenever we first started, and they would say, this is who you're going to be. This is how you have to act. And then we would do it and the camera would go off. And then we'd be like, fuck that. Like we would be different people. And I remember when we dropped a Mom Truth, God, like so long ago, and it was so anti the movement. And I remember we changed the music and we put like different fonts, and we were like it was so exact opposite of where we had been, but it was so us. And I remember it began to kind of like, it was about the Instagram mom, and it just did so well. And then we just kept going, and then they began to go viral. And then the Today Show was picking them up. And I think that collectively, there just wasn't a conversation going, you know, and I think that we just weren't the Pinterest mom. And I think that collectively we're all pushing it to make it feel normal. And I think that that's such an amazing thing. And, you know, whether we started it, didn't start it, I think that it was such a needed change for all these women to stand up and be like, I'm not cool with this, because it was definitely a box that we lived in for like a year, not a year or two, where we were like, like they would like pull us over and be like, you have to be more behaved.
We needed the relief, because even to try and live up to like what they wanted us to be, you know, we had team members being like, you guys got to get on Pinterest. You got to teach people how to organize the house. You got to teach people how to bake, but every time we would try to do the video that they were suggesting we did, we failed at it every single time.
But then it would probably do better.
Done trying so hard. Let's just be ourselves. And it just happened to really like resonate with people, of course, because everyone was under a pressure cooker and just like riddled with guilt because they were trying to be this person that doesn't even exist, but it kind of looks like she does on Instagram.
Yeah. I feel like Instagram has really, in the past like few years, has really pulled away from, and since TikTok, really pulled away from that like Pinteresty thing. Because when Instagram first started, it was exactly that. Like I remember going on Instagram being like, wow, I am not a great mom, with all of the things that I wasn't doing. And now being in the space where it's like you really are being applauded for being real, and you know, showing those emotions and breaking down is okay, because we all do it. And you feel like, this is lame, but you feel less alone to know that other women are also crying in their washrooms.
Oh my gosh, it's not lame at all. That's exactly what it is that motherhood in the beginning, when Kat and I were the first of anyone to have babies, we were I know people say this, but it's like, you're never alone with your baby, but like you're constantly in your thoughts and your feelings. And I felt so isolated from the world, because my job was just to be with that baby 24/7, and she didn't sleep. So I was like, I literally, like, I always say this, but I lived in this apartment and I looked across the street at this big apartment building across the train tracks. And I thought, is anybody else have a light on? Is anybody else here at 2 a.m, 3 a.m? Is anybody doing what I'm doing? Or is everybody cozy in their beds and I'm the only one who's like holding a crying baby? And I felt so alone. I would just cry all the time. Sit there and cry. I mean, I cried so much. I don't have any more tears to cry. I haven't cried in a long time. I'm all dried up.
They're gone.
That's cool. I love that you guys have created this outlet, and you've allowed other people to step into it as well. And it's becoming, not only is it becoming a normal conversation, but it's becoming an accepted conversation. Now, I will say this: I am outnumbered on this call. Yeah, I get that. I understand that, but I am speaking on behalf.
You wanted a girl.
I am speaking on behalf of the 12 guys that are listening to this podcast, because we all want to know this. When I first found the two of you, it was you sitting in the car having a mom's truth, which to me was like you guys were escaping from your houses to just be with your best friend. That's how it felt like for me. So I thought, man, this is really cool. But then you started talking about sex. And I got to be honest with you. Some of the things that you had to say were a little disheartening for me as a male.
He was triggered.
But here's the cool thing about me, and I think maybe this is just like an exploratory way.
We'll let you know.
When I was growing up as a kid, my sisters...
You're going to tell them the story?
Yeah, I'll tell them the story. My sisters had Cosmopolitans, and when I was about 12, 13 years of age, I realized that I could reverse engineer a Cosmopolitan book to figure out how to please a woman. Because Cosmo gave all of these women these tools, but if the men read it, life would be so much easier.
Facts.
And so your mom truth is reverse engineering how to actually be a husband, if you really think about it. And so I've been listening to some of your mom truths.
One.
And I must say, like, there's a part of me that says, you know, Brittany creates some content, talks shit about me all the time. And usually I'll hear it and I'll be like, wow, you really, what is it like to be your husband's hearing, no, I am not going to go down on your sweaty, hairy balls. When you get back, are they like, should I shave my balls? Like,
okay,
is that too hairy?
I have to clarify something. I think that number one, it's like an overall arching theme that men personalize when moms or women are tired or not in the mood to have sex. I'm like, if you could see this if I was in the mood to have sex, it would be with you. Like, babe, I interrupted you in my head. We just had sex. Like, we are having sex, not physically, but like in my brain. Yeah, you are it. So it's like, I think that men take the conversation so like ego bound, like, oh my God, they don't like my dick. Like, what's wrong? They don't love me. Where we're just like, it's not you. It's just really nobody, unless it was like a stranger on a beach and you're single with a bunch of margaritas. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So I think that they've come to realize generally on a conversation, we have been to like 185 cities on tour and seen women in real life. And that is the ongoing conversation,
right?
Is like, how do I get my husband to understand? And I'm like, think that if all of these women are talking about it, if a man was like, dude, sex is off the table for 3 weeks, a month, I just want you to be okay, you would get your bones jumped like chronically. So it's just this like expectation that women feel that it's like another thing. Chronically.
I was gonna say if I just have to accept 30 days of no sex to get a whole whack of sex, sign me.
I have a pen.
I think it's just the expectation. It's like it's so cold at nighttime, and like we've been like someone's been on you and around you all day, and it's like it's great when it's done and everything was good, but getting there, whoo, baby, you know. And balls are gross. I'm really sorry. Like balls are like, you know, like I'm not like teabagging. I'm sorry.
You know, I think if men looked like women,
we'd all be
getting laid more.
I think so too.
We're like good looking until we take our clothes off, and then it's like, ooh.
Can I tell them what was sent to you as like a test thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is
This is weird. This is weird.
Super fucking weird. But what's even weirder is you didn't even realize what it was. So Ryan's like, hey, like I got this sponsorship they want me to like do something for like sex toys, and I was like, okay, what is it? And so he's like, well, it's like for your balls. I'm like, okay. So he like shows me this thing that it goes around your balls.
It looks like a dick.
It looks like, but it literally turns your balls into a penis, and it has like an extension, so you can literally like screw your partner with your balls. Okay, Ryan didn't know that this is what it was, because I was like, I am 100% not participating in this. Like, what's it called? I forget what it's called.
It doesn't matter.
The ball dick or something. But he's like, you don't need to participate. It's just like a vibrator. I will send it to you. It literally turns. It's like a contraption that goes around the balls and then has like a penis on the end. So it's like a dildo for your balls.
You use your balls as the shaft no, it's just to have sex with your partner. I thought,
where's your dick? Where's your dick?
The dick's out of the game. It's just hanging out. It just hangs out over here. And the way they promote it is it's like a never-ending hard-on with your balls.
You just thought it was a vibrator.
And I thought it was a vibrator for my balls. So I'm like, yeah, let's try this. And Brittany's like, you're not inserting that in me. I'm like, why would I insert this in you? She's like, because that's what it does. I'm like, oh, well, wrong. We won't be using this then.
I'm going to send it to you.
How do you get off? I'm confused.
Well, they say, and I'm not into this.
You're not a ball dick expert?
I don't know anything about balls beside my own balls. And I know enough about those to know that what they say is the balls are equivalent to the labia in terms of sensitivity. So it's a heightened level of sensitivity for the male, and it's a never-ending hard-on for the woman. So the male will still ejaculate because his balls are being...
Maybe it's for
what a weird conversation to have with Cat&Nat. But
you know what I was
next level
I thought was that you could like, then you could do, you could put one in the butt and one.
I thought the same. I thought the same thing.
Could you try?
Or maybe it's like you wanted to like not be able to like you want to shoot blanks. Like they can just shoot blanks on your stomach instead of inside. I don't know.
I just don't know where are you ejaculating out of, on the side? I gotta
probably all over yourself. I'm guessing.
I'll find you the link and send it to you after.
Okay. I need to dig deeper into this.
100%.
No pun intended.
So.
Balls too, like the way my sons act, like their balls are so sensitive. Like, oh, I'm like wrapping them up and turning them into a shaft.
I cannot imagine smashing my nuts into Brittany and thinking that it's enjoyable. I can't.
I honestly
like listen,
weirdest visual right
if
now.
I'm gonna have sex with my wife once this month, it's not gonna be with my balls. I promise you.
I see this as an OnlyFans page.
100%.
Like this for you.
Okay.
Real money.
I want to play a game with you guys. So it's basically like the newlywed game, but for best friends. So like the Cat&Nat name.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you
guys
love
these games.
Each questions. You both don't have to answer each question, but I might ask you both like the same. Okay. So the first question is kind of easy, I feel like. Okay. So I'm going to ask Kat, what is Nat's favorite alcoholic beverage? Like if she was going to go out to a restaurant, what would she order?
What time of day is it? When do we start?
Okay,
if it's mid-afternoon, it's a glass of wine. If it's after 5 p.m., it's a dirty martini, straight up, no vermouth, with a little bit of olive, not too dirty.
Right.
If it's like 6 o'clock, we're probably starting with a tequila, most likely a spicy margarita, followed by sometimes we do about 3 of those. Then she moves into martinis. Then we go to wine. Really depends. And if it's before 10 o'clock, it's usually a Caesar followed by wine.
And Kat, what's the thing that I do just to clear myself out after a night?
Then she has a beer. That's new.
Oh.
She has a beer at the end of it all to signify the end of the night. Or she orders a glass of wine, doesn't finish it, has 2 sips. The night's over when we order one last glass of wine. I leave. She follows me with a full glass of wine, and we wake up in the morning and there's the full glass of wine, if not a bottle of wine.
I love that. Is that your tell when you're like, listen, like I'm done for the night. I'm getting my beer and my.
I don't think you're going to stump them.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, this is a hard one. And she's like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, is she right? Like everything that she just said, accurate?
Absolutely. I mean, she witnesses it all the time. So
I like how she never once said water, but that's okay.
no,
I said
no.
alcoholic.
Diet Pepsi. We'll throw a Diet Pepsi in there.
All right, fair enough. Okay, Cat or Nat. If Cat could be any animal in the entire world for one day only, what animal would she be?
I mean, she'd probably be her own dog because that dog is treated like that dog, like a baby. Like it's like it gets so much love. Everybody takes care of it. Everybody loves it. She'd probably just be Buff.
Is it true?
I'd also try to be a dolphin for the day, a male dolphin. They have full orgies. I want to let you know. The male dolphin.
You want to have orgies?
Well, I'm
Only-
a male.
only as a
I'm
dolphin.
Saying
male
is-
dolphin. I'm a male dolphin.
Right.
That's what I want to be. I tried for one day. Just see how it goes.
You want to have Dorfies.
Like if you're going to have an orgy,
Dolphin
why
orgies.
not be a dolphin?
Listen, the dolphin world, when we were in Florida, they taught us about the whole thing with 7 kids, about orgies and all the, in front of the kids, they were talking about, So it was hysterical. God, we were the mums we were because we were dying. I'm like, wow, sounds great to be a dude dolphin. Just have a fun. And then the girl dolphins get a nanny, y'all. They get another dolphin who nannies their kid.
While they're in the orgy?
No, they have the orgy. The dads are gone. And then the
God.
mom dolphin gets a nanny.
So what you're saying is the dolphins have it figured out.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the man.
Well, the mom gets a nanny.
The girl dolphins get a nanny. The girl nanny watches all the dolphin all the time, the baby dolphin.
I know, but if I was a girl dolphin, I'd never want to become a nanny.
I mean, neither. So I said I'd be a dude dolphin.
I'll be a dude with you.
I like it. I like it.
Perfect. We'd have to have an orgy together. That'd be weird.
If I ever see some
Anyways,
whacked out dolphins, I feel like if you guys God forbid pass away, I'll be like, that's Cat&Nat. That's
I was
in there
gonna
now.
be
oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
We've been
I was
trying
going to be a
figure out where
shark.
we're
I was going to be a
going.
shark, but truth be told, I want to be a dolphin.
He wants the dolphin dick.
Yeah, by the way,
he's gonna put
dolphins
those
kill
ball
sharks
things on the
all
dolphin
time.
dick.
They drown them. They pull them by their tail and they drown them. She taught us that one too.
It's true. It's true. My daughter watches some pretty messed up things on
Because
on
you say,
YouTube.
"Hey Google, play sharks killing things." That's why she says
It's
that.
usually snakes, but
Okay.
okay. Here's my question, Kat. Speaking of
Both.
orgies,
I want them both to
Okay,
answer this.
okay. Both of you can answer this. Speaking of orgies,
Oh,
who is each other's hall pass?
no.
Do you have a hall pass?
Do you know what they are? Who they are?
And it can't be Flipper.
Stop.
Oh, I don't know if we would ever, guys. I don't know if we'd get a hall pass at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
Hypothetically,
even sure.
yeah, hypothetically.
We have
I'm
a
not
bus
even-
full of strippers. I think our hall pass is gone.
I feel our hall pass is long gone.
Mm.
No,
Well,
but I have like there are so like I move from like crush to crush. I leave them in my dust. A Cat always knows. I DM them on Instagram.
Yeah.
I try to like get them to like message us back.
We meet them. We hang out with them. You know what's so weird is a long time ago we were friends with Colton Underwood. We are friends with Colton Underwood, and before he was gay, it was weird. My husband was jealous of that one guy because we weren't out in LA with him, and I was like, "You're jealous of him? He's not interested." Even in the slightest,
Right.
and a mom with 3 kids, like he's a virgin. I promise you. There's like, and then she's got one. Who's yours? He's really jealous. Oh my God,
I don't want
Whitey.
No, it's so stupid. I do not have a crush on this person. It's just that when I was showing my husband the phenomenon of this person, he was like, "Oh, why are you so obsessed?" I'm like,
Who?
"I'm not obsessed. I'm showing you how
She never.
you know
Yeah.
Whitey on TikTok."
Yeah.
No.
I don't know who's Whitey on
I
TikTok.
feel like I should know this.
Yes,
He's Canadian. It was just so weird. I was like, what they got jealous of? I was like, what is the deal over there?
I
he
love
probably
that.
with strippers on our bus who are like these beastly, like sexy dudes, and you're okay with that. But when I'm talking about a TikToker who's 22 years old who lives in fucking Niagara Falls,
I was gonna say he looks young.
He is young.
That's
yes,
him?
yes,
Listen,
I don't want to leave this here that you think that I have a crush.
I'm gonna tag him.
No.
We are not left with this.
Way more along the lines of like The Rock, or I
Right.
had a with Dwight Howard for a minute. It's over.
Mm.
Like it's a different genre than fucking Whitey.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh.
He just has like charisma. Like he's got charisma, and
He's got a nice smile. He's got a charm about him. He's no dolphin.
Guys, he was a phenomenon. For like a second, it was crazy to watch what happened.
I didn't know he was from Niagara Falls.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what else is Niagara Falls? Marineland.
Marineland.
Yeah.
Marine land.
Okay.
Oh,
No, we don't get a hall pass. I don't think we get a hall pass anymore.
I
No
don't
hall
think
pass.
I'd allow you to have a hall pass.
No.
No, I think this question's more like hypothetical. Like I wouldn't actually be like, yeah,
Here's
you
your
could-
pass.
You could with so and so. Like I feel like it's when it came down to it, I'd be like, yeah, I was just fucking joking. You're
I
not-
think for me as a
You
male,
don't get
I
that.
wouldn't be like, you can have a hall pass. But if you took it upon yourself to have a hall pass, there may be some people that I'd be like, I understand.
like Ryan Reynolds would be
Okay.
mine.
Like
Very
if you had sex with Ryan Reynolds, I would be heartbroken.
Watching.
I'd be like, no.
You'd be watching. You'd be like, yeah.
I would be like, man, that
Ryan.
sucks, but I get it. Like I totally get it.
He's the
I'm like, if my husband loves Gronkowski's girlfriend, you know,
Rob?
Camilla.
yeah, whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you could get her, go
Congrats.
right ahead. Her. Tell me how it went. I'll take Gronk.
It's my favorite thing about the hall pass is it's like, who are we to think that like that person would just be like, yeah, sure, your wife said you can have sex with me. I'm Giselle, my husband's Tom Brady, but your wife said you can have sex with me. Done.
It's fine.
This is my point. I'm like, what? And I'm like, do you think a stripper wants us? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like they live with that.
There's no one.
We're pretty gross. Like we're like, no, they're by the end of it, they're like, no chance. You two.
I don't
Game
agree with you.
10 minutes, you know, Kat, before they realize how gross I really am.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could watch, both of you guys can answer for each other. What would be the one show that the other person, if you could only watch one show for the rest of your life, like a TV series, what would it be? Like what would Kat's be and what would Nat's be?
I
Not-
doesn't watch TV, so that's a bit of a problem.
Like you,
What
any
would it be
show.
for me, Beth?
You would have a comedy show and it would probably be something that's been canceled or like
Yeah.
you
Yeah, like
Fine.
a half-an-hour sitcoms
Yeah.
that I fall in love with, and they don't get renewed for the second season every time. Those are my favorite.
Rude.
we make a joke if she likes a show, it's over. She's like, oh, it's gonna get
Yeah,
canceled.
there's a new show, Pivoting. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
No.
Sorry, pivoting.
No. Yeah. It's
Well,
canceled.
yeah, it's they're definitely not getting renewed. I love it.
Oh.
Oh, let's hope they get renewed.
And there's okay. This. I feel like this is an easy one. Do you guys know each other's Starbucks order?
Yes, we have a new one right now.
Ooh.
We get the
share,
same thing.
Do
We always
tell.
get the same thing.
What is
So
it?
right now we're not drinking coffee. We used to get venti pikes, 2 Splenda, and a splash of half and half. But right now we're doing chai tea with a little bit of oat milk and little squirts of non-sugar-free vanilla.
I don't know why that sounded so dirty.
I know, it's kind of gross. I think it's called pumps,
Yes.
but still.
Okay. Before we go, can you guys just briefly tell us about this book, Mom Secrets?
Oh my God, we wrote a book that's so crazy. Kat, do you know what it's about?
No, do you? No, I'm joking.
No, but I think it's going to be a bestseller.
It's our second book and it's releasing March 29th. And it is a book basically good girl. It's
know.
basically a book, kind of how you guys all started this conversation was that it is sort of these hidden truths that we have in our brain that we don't tell anyone. So secret confessions that you think you're the only one doing, but you're actually not the only one doing them. You are very much not alone in the dirty secrets of motherhood and what you're doing. For example, like the weird things your kids find in your house and use, and you have to explain, just sort of relationships and marriage and friendships and what brunch is like now with kids.
Yeah.
And
And
the
honestly,
expectation-
everybody sent in their like people sent in anonymous
We got it.
too much lip filler. Anonymous confessions, and then we just started like, you know, writing our stories and how we could relate to all of it. And then honestly, when it got printed and we went back and we finished the edits and we read back, we're like sitting in the car, we're like, oh my God, oh my God, people are gonna read this. Like, my mother-in-law can't read this. Like, we were like shitting. We're like, can we go back and edit anymore? And they're like, no, this is the final, ladies. This is what you wrote. You said it was okay. We're like, okay, well, I guess it's gonna be out there then. Sure.
I'm excited.
Hey, listen, every mom has tried to explain to their 3-year-old that their dildo's a microphone. It's all good.
I
it happens.
say like back. Like
oh, it's worse than a dildo. It's worse than a
definitely
dildo.
not worse than a ball dildo. I'll tell you
and
that
wait
much.
till they're 10 and they find out. You're like, whoops.
That's a lot.
So no, we're really excited about it, and
really
it's been really fun to write, and it is something that is kind of like forever. You know, it's like a stamp in time. Once again, our first book was like a stamp in time, and it feels like this one is again, and it pushes the envelope a little bit more again, and we wanted a little bit grittier, a little bit more raw, and that's what we got. So we're excited about it.
Well, I promise you, there is a ton of women out there that are super happy that you are exposing this truth out there.
Maybe
because
not your mother-in-law.
Maybe not your mom. But you know what? If your mother-in-law is being truthful, she's glad she's doing it too, because she's going to be like, oh, these are the things I lied to her about. Yeah, it's so amazing what you guys are doing. You've opened up this world of truths that allows everything to not be okay and be okay with it not being okay. And I know that's a cliche thing to say, but congratulations for doing that. Where can people find you if they've been living under a rock and don't know what social media is?
There's lots of people who don't know us. We're at Cat&Nat everywhere. Our podcast is Mom Truths. Our book is literally available everywhere and anywhere you can buy a book. Yeah, we're a hop, skip, and a jump from you guys. And thank you for taking the time and having us on.
Anytime.
It was really fun
Absolute pleasure.
conversation, guys.
Yes, ladies.
You
Thank
guys
you
are
so
great.
much.
I'm so glad. I can't believe I just found you like since this podcast. That's so crazy.
Now
We've
she's
been
like,
living.
I don't
We've
want to
been
talk.
living under a rock. But I just went and followed you on TikTok, and then I got to go do the Instagram too. But you're not on TikTok.
He comes on mine.
No, I just show up and Brittany tells me
He's
what
the
to
talent.
do.
He's like, where do you want me? Ladies, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Enjoy the pickup.
Yeah. Have a
Sorry,
wonderful
sorry,
day.
we
won't hang
disrupted the
out, don't
boudoir
worry.
sleep.
Right. We won't hang up.
There goes a sight from my soul.